Hey there, it's JediPsychTricks finally streaming again after what seemed like a terribly long hiatus, and really was, as life did things like made me have to do plumbing in my house. So I'm here to talk about Boyfriend Dungeon. I've played it a little bit. As you can see, I can continue the game. But I want to start it anew because I want to talk about not just the game itself, right? But I want to talk about the controversy that surrounded the game. And you actually need to see the beginning parts of the game and really get into that mindset before we can talk about that controversy. So I'm going to start a new game so that it becomes clear what is going on here. And fortunately, I checked this ahead of time. I can create the new game in another slot. Now, the first thing that happens within this game, and this is the same whether I started the first game or the last game, is it starts with this warning that the game's story involves exposure to unwanted sexual advances, stalking, and other forms of emotional manipulation, and gives us that warning ahead of time. That's going to be important. The next thing it does is bring us into our character creation so that we can become ourselves. And so I am going to work on becoming myself and giving myself a name. I am, of course, Jedi. Actually, I'm just going to go with PsychTricks. I am PsychTricks. And I use she, her pronouns. And how do I want my... I love that it starts you entirely neutral, by the way, so that you can make your choice. But I am pasty white to the point of being see-through. And although my hair is currently long, that's actually a byproduct of the pandemic and the fact that I couldn't get a cut for a very long time. I think that's the closest to where I want it to be. And let's give myself... Ooh, we have all sorts of eyes. Well, I am always sleepy, so that may very well be a choice. In fact, I'm going to go with that because I am tired all the time. So here we go. We've got JediPsychTricks coming at ya. And I am ready to begin. I can change my character at any time, so I can look however I want to, whenever I want to. I start off in a gender-neutral way. I can choose my pronouns, and it even tells me that sometimes supportive messages are going to come from a character named Mom, and if this is going to be upsetting for you, it allows you to disable that because it's not an essential part of the story, or I presume that from reading this and from what I have played so far. So I'm going to leave those on so that we can see what Mom has to say. But again, it's given you this option to opt out of certain things, either the game as a whole for the various story elements that you just can't remove and still have it be the same game, but also from an element that you could remove while still having it be the same game. And I have final boarding call for Verona Beach. All passengers, please board immediately. So now we're going to go into the game proper. We are flying out to Verona Beach, and we're going to change our lives, it looks like. We're going to a beach or going on vacation, one or the other. But we're getting these safety pins on there.
Hey, welcome to Verona Beach, cuz.
And now we have
Jesse,
our cousin Jesse. So I'm going to let them do some of the talking.
It's been a long 10 years, huh? Your mom said you'd grown up, but I had no idea. You're so much taller.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Red Fighter,
Sorry,
how's it going?
I just remember you as a little kid. Cousin problems.
You know, that is cousin problems. I have cousins who I love dearly, but it is very hard for me to remember to adjust their ages upwards to the present.
I was in college, and you were like in the 5th grade or something. Back before California.
Hey, no on my, yes, we are looking for swords again. I am starting this at the beginning so that I can talk about the controversy that surrounded it.
Doesn't matter. Come on, I'll show you your room for the summer.
But I most definitely need to find me some swords as well. So our cousin Jesse's going to take us up into our room. And now it's no longer voice, but I can stay here until his lease runs out in September. I have no clue what month it is. Must be summer. So they are living with their partner. And that's fantastic. And, excuse me, what problem? Oh yeah, my mom is ratting me out about not going on a date ever. But they're going to help me out, and it'll be a summer of love. Okay, so it is summer. I thought it was. I thought we knew that it was summer. Or, if you prefer, a summer of totally platonic, friendly hangouts. Those are good, too. I have not actually tried this game in a way that allows me to just have platonic friendly hangouts. Because, as no one remembers from my watching this stream, I am most definitely looking for swords or daggers or whatever the case may be. And my cousin Jesse, who is not a pickup artist, can teach me about being friendly, and they seem pretty friendly, and I am willing to be a little bit adventurous. It's a town for lovers, so keep my eyes and mind open. And so again, they're setting this up with a very particular vibe, right? As they're giving us all of these warnings. Our friend is not a pickup artist, but they're going to help us to find dates or even just platonic friendships. So they're going to set things up and asking me what the problems in love are. Nobody appreciates me. I'm cursed or I'm ugly. I think I'm ugly. Aw, my cousin Jesse just called me a cutie, but maybe I need higher self-esteem. Yeah, probably. The first step in love is finding someone with similar interests and talking to them. Sage advice, right? This is a good thing. So let's get me some confidence. There's a new fitness fad. See, I tell him when I'm ugly and he's like, hey, you can go get fit. That's sort of that sneaking that in there, right? So it's perfect for meeting people, and that is, oh, he tells me first I have to have an open mind. Dungeons! Not those types of dungeons. There are some parallels, you know, because of the swords and all, but instead, these are dungeons from, like, video games and D&D. There's been monster infestation, so kill monsters for money. It's great for building confidence and getting a workout. And they want me to try to turn into a weapon.
Nah.
Can you? No. Okay, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try really hard. I am going to think the sword, be the sword. Am I a sword? Nope. Stay me. I guess I must wield the sword. Maybe it's genetic because my cousin can't do it either. It doesn't run in the family. But transforming is a big deal, and we get to wield the swords. And after I get my combat lessons from a sword friend of Jesse's, we can start learning how to do that. And I am terrified of meeting people in real life, so that is definitely how I'm going to go. And he's like, well, this is probably why you don't have dates. Perfectly platonic friends can wield each other. This is very important. So when you're ready, go out there and get to the mall. Why the mall, maybe? Facing my fears in the mall. Isaac will tell me more about why it's a mall. But he's my fencing teacher, a perfect professional, and I can go find him when I leave my apartment, and I can communicate with others via text message. So it's setting me up with all of the things I need in the game. These have relatively little to do with the controversy that I'm going to show, but I have to get to the point of that first. And a tour of the apartment. There we go. We've got one room. It is all ours. We can use the desk and shelves and sleep.
See ya.
We can also change what we look like in the mirror and do anything else that we'd like. Much of this I haven't actually accessed too much yet, but it's clear there's going to be some crafting. We've got some zines, and then we've got our phone. And I already have a message. My cousin reminded me, don't forget to meet Isaac at the mall and watch out for weapon thief, because weapon people are going missing. I can't reply yet, but I will be able to. All right. So in order to get to... Ooh, gifts. Nope, I don't have any. So I don't think I have anything else in here. Yep, everything is a bit empty. I'll fix that later. So the core mechanic of this game, right, as many of you probably already know, is going to dungeons and wielding sword people. So let's go find our first sword people. For those who haven't played the game, this will be a great introduction to what it is all about. And then relatively soon we'll get to an introduction to the main controversy. So now I am on at the mall on the main floor. I can't leave. Usually you can. But of course, this is the first time I've ever been to the mall. Well, I used to go to the mall all the time, but this is the first time I've been to the mall now. So I wonder what happens if we just don't touch the sword. Like, see a sword? Oh, no. Hello? Sword? Hi. I'll just run right into it. I find a long, thin blade, and the hilt is very comfortable. A man's voice reverberates from the metal, and it makes me jump.
You must be Jesse's friend. Hi, I'm Isaac.
Isaac the sword?
Indeed. Though I don't require the sword appellate.
Much as I am likely not the woman. Fair enough.
I hope you don't call me the man when I'm in my human form. But
I'm
I'm indeed
sorry.
in stock at times. Forgive me for remaining in this form for now. It takes some effort to change shape, and I'd rather focus on the lesson at hand.
Yes, most
Your
definitely.
hand on my hilt is as good a handshake as any, after all.
That's right, that's right. This is how we should all shake hands.
Now, if you take a look around, you'll see we're in a mall.
Yes, I got here all on my own feet, too.
A dunge is a place you can confront your insecurities.
Yes, okay,
Here,
enter the dunge.
Your own psychology will create monsters to fight.
They say that right,
I
but
chose the mall because most people have fears that easily manifest here.
I'm afraid of nothing.
Everyone's afraid of something. Let's go ahead and look around. Let's see if we can find any monsters to fight.
He's not wrong about that. I just wanted to be defiant, of course. Oop, I got a light attack. Boom, boom, boom. And then I've got a heavy attack. Womp, 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 womp. A few attacks in a row will let us do a combo together. Try light attack, light attack, light attack, heavy. Light, light, heavy. Light, light, heavy. Yeah, I can do that. I can do very basic patterns. Then again, I used to play Street Fighter, so I can do less than basic. Hey, cell phones. That's right, I don't like cell phones. People need to leave me alone. My form is rough, but I have strong potential. Thanks. Talk about that monster. It came from inside my mind. So here's the thing, right? So they were saying that Verona Beach is busted out into monsters, but the monsters only seem to show up if someone who's afraid of things go into the mall. But Isaac started off as a wielder and fought lots of trucks. Doesn't even hate trucks, and yet they manifested pickup trucks, dump trucks, monster trucks. Some issues around masculinity and boyhood. There's a very Freudian underpinning to this writer, like Carl Jung and his interpretation of dreams. And Isaac is working through this and killed a boss monster truck. And so my phone monster could mean a lot of things, like fear connection to other people or fear of intimacy, helplessness. Maybe I'm afraid of technology moving ahead without me. And then we can figure out how deep the dungeon goes. As deep as my insecurities, this is one heck of a big dungeon then. So sorry. We're going to go until we die, is what we're going to do. And we get to keep all the treasure. Don't worry about dying, by the way, but you get to keep all the treasure. And instead, look for beverages. Beverages are going to lift your spirits and make sure you don't die. Last observation, I can use the power of a zine in combat. So when I read magazines, you can breathe fire, apparently. And maybe I can find new magazines later. But don't always rely on them. You only have so many to go. So now let's be brave and fight as many cell phones as possible. Come here, you nasty cell phones. And I found all sorts of things. I'm going to keep all of this. There's my coffee or tea or whatever. Tea. That's right. I picked tea. Oh, it's not just cell phones, it's the television as well. I hated having to get up and turn all that stuff. Ow! Yeah, I got hurt. Oh, there it is. I couldn't remember where my roll was, and of course it's on the B button. Of course it's listed right up there, too. What is this? Are you okay? Did you find the apartment? Somebody's sending me text messages? Oh, look, there's the mom that she's interrupting me while I'm fighting things. I'm gonna tell her I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's okay. Oh yes, I have to stay on guard. I stay on guard because I have a sword. That was a very good pun. That's right. Oh, more sugar. Sugar. I'm gonna sugar up. What is this? I got a big crate in here. Haha! A sword. I see. I have to open it up. Hey, sword. How you doing? I'm just gonna grab you. I hear that my hand on your hilt is an excellent handshake. Hilt is almost cold to the touch, but quickly warms. Yes. And begins to transform. And the first of the beautiful transformations, Sailor Moon style. Look at this gorgeous hunk biting his rose. The dude on the cover.
Hello, you two. Name's Sunbear.
Hey there. You need an undershirt.
Isaac Brooks. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Unusual to be here without a wielder, no?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not really sure how I got here.
Drunken Bender?
Last thing I remember is someone in a cloak, chanting.
Magic.
And now I'm all dinged up.
Well, that's what you get for hanging out with chanting people in a cloak. I know, right? What a beefcake this guy is. Although not exactly my style. But check out that six-pack. More like triangles. Maybe those are Doritos or something instead of a six-pack.
I must have made someone really angry if they abducted me and chipped me, whoever they are.
That's right, don't...
But my luck is turning around because here you are.
Oh, look, he's blushing. He's the one with no clothes on, and he's the one who's blushing.
I didn't think anyone like you would be in the dungeon.
I think he's talking to Isaac.
Yeah, you. I'm not
no,
talking
me.
to the monsters, that's for sure.
Well, maybe you were talking to Isaac. He is a handsome-looking sword.
There were other options.
Yeah, hold his hilt.
Oh, if you're into it. Maybe we can go on a date later. Would that be okay?
Well, I'm supposed to be... This is a dating sim, and I sure
Maybe
do love me
together
some
we can
Doritos.
figure out how I got down here.
Yeah, we can work that out. Maybe there's dip.
I mean, who would leave me here and not keep me in their embrace forever, right?
Did you hit your head?
A little, but my pride more than anything. I'm sure Isaac can explain.
Fair
Now
enough.
I'll just cut my way out of here while you two finish up your run.
Probably
Here's
would
my
have
number.
been easier for you to stay a man so that, you know, you could walk and stuff.
I'll text you.
Ah, thank you. Yes, text me. I much prefer text to people calling me, because when people call me, I have to think on my feet. When people text me, I can take some time, because I'm afraid I'm going to say something stupid. So definitely text me. Maybe that's why these cell phones, because these cell phones don't text nearly as well. That's why I'm afraid of them. I'm going to say something stupid. That's what they are. Later, Damaged Blade.
He was knocked out, damaged, and imprisoned here?
He sounds so scandalized.
Weapon forms heal quickly, as they are made from our spirits more than our bodies.
Okay, whoa. Hold on just a second. I would like to point out that spirits don't generally heal more quickly than bodies. Right, that you break somebody's spirit, and that's going to take a lot longer to heal than a broken finger.
Still, this is serious. I'll report our findings to the authorities. I hope the abductor can be caught.
Yeah, that's
Let's
right.
keep our eye out for any other victims as we explore the dungeon.
Breaking people's spirits is no joke. Oh, there they are. Spirit breakers. Take this! I blow fire from my mouth. I ate all of those Doritos.
Is this my
No!
fault?
Yes, it's absolutely your fault. You led me in here. But our love rank is maxed, so it's okay. And I've leveled up. Look at me go. And you go home. I wonder how the ambulance, the folks who work in the ambulance and the paramedics, feel about everybody going into the dungeon. Like, do they just sit there and wait? Do they have cameras on there watching everybody's insecurities? That's what they probably do. That's what they probably do, and watch and see how insecure everybody is. Headcanon accepted. I am tired and unharmed, but I am still holding my
And
sword.
that concludes our first lesson. Would you mind releasing me?
Yeah, sorry
Not a
about that.
problem at all.
Let's see our epic transformation. Look at you in your dapper suit. See, he is smart enough to have an undershirt. You leave some things to the imagination. You have that confidence. What is that book you're reading? That book had a title on it. Did anybody catch the title? What is he reading? Yes, here, I'm going to hold my hand out. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Thank you. But I must get back to work.
I think you're supposed to hold your hand out to get it kissed, right? When they say enchanté.
If I may say, your fencing style is rough, but has unusual potential.
Yes, my fencing style is rough. Yeah, I'm not very good at swords. Is that what you're telling me? So sorry. I'm out of practice.
If you're interested in refining your form, come by my office. I have the gear necessary for lessons.
I most definitely want to practice swords with you.
We still have no leads on finding the source of your insecurities that form these monsters. So feel free to call upon me in the future when you need a dungeon delving partner.
That's right. I want to see all of your insecurities. That's exactly what you want in a partner on the first date.
Until next time, then.
Ta-ta. And a small bow. See, he's bowing. He's so sweet. Telling me enchanté. And sending me text messages right away, right? Not following that rule where you're supposed to wait forever or something. Isn't that a rule? I don't know. Somebody tells me. Isaac is going to provide equipment at the office. And if you wish, sincerely, Isaac. Look how formal. Let's how formal. I'm not going to be mean to Isaac. I like Isaac. I can't bring myself to be mean to almost anybody in video games, right? So Jesse wants to say, did you make it to the dungeon? And I'm going to say, mission complete, sir. Aye, aye, Captain. How did it go? Don't answer. Let's talk in person. When are you showing up? Where am I going to find you? Gonna be right over. Okay, come to my house. Chat with me about it. Well, that was
Hey,
fast.
cuz,
You
I
must
heard
live
you,
nearby.
Picked up Isaac, and he says you're a natural.
And we
Whoa,
found another
two
one.
swords in one day. What are the odds?
They must be attracted to me or something.
Anyway, I'm glad it worked out.
Me too. Isaac says I might be afraid of technology or change, and either way, I'll trust you. Is Isaac a psychologist? Like, you would think that maybe the swords would be naturally tending towards the psychology field if they're doing things like helping you work out on your insecurities. And even if I'm not into him, it's good practice being normal and alone with a handsome stranger. Yeah, you even if you're not into him, definitely go practice your dating skills on this person and lead them on. That's exactly the way. Yeah, that's a good idea. I am a bit nervous. Jesse is squinting at me now. Nerves are that bad, huh? At least you gained a bit of confidence. No, I just gained sword skills and he said I was very bad. Guy I went to high school with runs a sword shop and he's single. At least that's what Eric's online profile says. Hasn't seen him in person in years. Might be the only guy in town who knows more about swords than Isaac, but I got his number. Ah, yes, give me his number.
Aha!
And there we go. He's free for coffee tomorrow. Are you in? Yes. Yes, let's go get some coffee. And, see, look at that. I wonder if the yellow hearts are intended for, like, platonic love or familial love, and the pink and red hearts are associated with other types of love. I wonder if they've made a correlation between the different colors and the hearts and the different types of love. So now I'm going to go on this practice date at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning at Kix, which is a coffee shop. It's just coffee. So we'll talk about dungeons and get to know them. And gotta be on the move, right? Because I only have a summer to find my one true love. This is very important. So let's roleplay as some practice. I'll be Eric. No pressure, just try it out. We've just entered the cafe. Oh, we're roleplaying with our cousin. This is, hi! And I fail and start coughing on myself. That is truth. I feel seen. Maybe try in a mirror next time. I've got to roleplay some more. I have been given homework to practice saying hi without coughing all over somebody in the times of COVID. So Jesse is heading out. I have a few extra hours. I should practice saying hi without coughing. Let's go check out the cafe, I guess. Let's see this so that I know more about this cafe before I get there. I don't want to get lost on the way. It looks open and mostly empty. Hey there. I don't want coffee, so I guess I'm going to buy a pastry.
Sure thing. One chocolate croissant coming right up.
Oh, fantastic. She knows me well. Thank you, barista. So I'm going to eat my pastry and look around. It's cozy and well lit, but only one way out. Okay, so I want to be near that way out. See, sit close to the escape route just in case. I am strategic. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to bed. I wake up paralyzed with deep, inexplicable fear. Yeah, this is my first date in the beginning of the rest of my life. I'm not even sure what I'm scared of, but I can't breathe. So I am going to count to 10. Focusing on my thoughts. 1, 2, 3. No. I should stop focusing on my thoughts. Count to 10 and focus on the external world, or the physical sensations in my body. My thoughts are the worst things that I would be focusing on. My thoughts are telling me everything's going to be terrible. Focus on something else. So now I'm walking down to the coffee shop.
Welcome back to Kix.
Barista, do you ever sleep? My scouting last night makes me feel a little bit better. Yep, the man in the corner that's waiting for me. Now, I want to know how she knows that this man in the corner is waiting for me. Did they give her a name?
Hey, you're Jesse's cousin, right? I'm Eric.
Hello, Eric. Now, Eric is the one who's going to cause... spoiler alert. Anybody who hasn't seen the game, I guess spoilers for the whole rest of the time, essentially. Because that's what this controversy is all about. So... stop watching. Eric's the one who's going to cause all of the trouble and all of this controversy, if I am understanding correctly.
Now tell me everything you know about swords. Do you prefer one or two-handed?
So right now I still have yellow hearts, and so I'm just going to go with I like two-handed
I sometimes
swords.
like the speed of one-handed weapons, but it's a rush to use the heft of two hands.
That's right, me too. Me too, or maybe it's just because my arms are weak and I have to use two hands with every sword. You ever think of that? as you wag your playful eyebrows and look at my scrawny arms.
Jesse said you're a dungeon crawling type, so I thought I'd offer my help finding a weapon.
Right on my everybody likes a two-handed sword, or has very weak arms, one or the other, and then they pretend they like two-handed swords. It makes them feel better. And so I am going to ask them if they are a weapon person, because they just offered to help me find a weapon. Oh, not really for them. Totally cool if you're into it, though. Oh yeah, so that's pretty nice so far. Shop sells pure steel. Some imported, some made on site. So they make weapons. That does in fact make them a weapon person, just of a different sort than what you find here. And I could get a discount if I give his blades a good home. You seem like the kind of woman who appreciates fine craftsmanship. Are you a smith then? Do you make the swords, or do I say thanks? I'm torn. Thanks, or see, this is why text message is so much better, and in person I could sit here and think, do I say thank you, or do I ask them if they're a smith? I don't think I'm going to go with I am. That just seems a little too much. I'm going to say, so you're a smith?
Exactly.
Oh, that got me some hearts. I love it. Excellent. I take raw, dirty hunks of metal and with finesse and strength turn them into art. Look at the twinkle in his eye. That's a nice twinkle. I try anyway. I'm still learning. He's learning how to make swords on YouTube. Oh my gosh, with video tutorials. Aw, look at him blushing as he tells me he'll make something beautiful enough for me to wield. That's so sweet. And so here's a gift. Maybe I can do something with some wire. What's interesting is I'm going to take this wire and I believe sell it back to him for some stuff, I think. And some plastic. And I can make bracelets out of it that this person will not wear. So I think I can make something. Maybe a bracelet. Imagine that. So now he's going to get back to the shop and ask if we can go on a proper date. I haven't seen anything wrong just yet. Yeah, I would like to go on a proper date with you. Now I've got pink hearts instead of yellow hearts. And if I need a weapon, maybe I'll see you soon anyway. Ciao. So everything seems so honky-dory right now, right? Again, the game is, according to the controversy, the game is lulling you into a false sense of security. But so far, everything is following along with the expectations that have been set, both in terms of what you read in the storefront, or the store page, and what you have come to expect given the game. So now, I'm going to access my phone, and how did I go? It went super hearts. He's adorable. I still have most of the summer met. More people to meet before you propose. And now I'm definitely more date experience. Plus, I'll find you another date venture soon. Well, what about these people? I wish I could ask what about both of them, right? So, I'm gonna say... what about this person? You want me to just abandon him? Yeah, variety is the spice of life, so we have to date around. Gonna find me someone nice. Jesse is implying that Eric is not someone nice. Chill in dunge from now, or use the crafting table, and let you know when I've fixed everything for you. Oh, and Sunder wants to talk to me too. This is our sexy sword man from the dunge. Do I like to dance? I'm very bad at it. Why? Because Sunder is out dancing. Come to my club, La Rosa. And we have no choice but to say, I'll be there. So the game is saying, yes, you're definitely going to go meet Sunder at La Rosa. Fantastic. But first, I want to... Don't force me to leave. I want to craft. Because sure enough, all the stuff that they've given me makes some bracelets. So that I know how to craft. Look how pretty those bracelets are made out of wire and plastic. Go me. I have no other recipes to make, and here's my only zine. So now I have access to pretty much everything in the apartment that I expected to have access to. So I'm going to leave. So now, most definitely wants me to go to La Rosa, but there's also a shop I could go to. So now I have choices, right? This place has some exclamation points. I want to go see the exclamation points. Hello, clerk. Look at you and all your yeah, I am most definitely too poor to do anything at your shop. So, peace out. Thank you. At least you were very nice to me. It wasn't like in Pretty Woman where they were mean. Right? She didn't say that she didn't think she had anything for me and tell me that I was in the wrong place. I was in the wrong place. I had 39 cents. but she wasn't mean about it and tell me that. So now I'm at the theater, and ooh, I can buy tickets for dates if I didn't have 39 cents. But maybe I can start to afford at some point some tickets for some dates. But I was just invited, and I did, because I had no other choice, say that I would show up to La Rosa. So let's go and do that. And security says name. I'm going to give them my name and be like, hi. Unclips the velvet, lets me in. Oh, so I didn't have to say I'm with Thunder. I could just give them my name. And is with a woman sitting next to them. I just can't feel a real connection, you know? Join the club. Oh. They seem to be fighting with each other. Do you believe in soulmates? I want to believe. Let's go the X-Files route. Sunder hesitates and eyes me. Oops, nope, I didn't say the right thing. Me too. I just keep getting so disappointed. Ooh, whatever I said was good. I got love rank, and now I can make people bleed. Excellent. They make it look so easy in the movies. Romance has been dead at least 500 years. That's a long time for Romance to be dead. Hi, Mandy. You killed Romance, did you, 500 years ago? Business partner and co-owner of the club. Charmed, I'm sure. Oh, she doesn't seem to like me very much at all. Competition, maybe? And what kind of sword do you turn into again? Oh, I don't. I'm a wielder. Literally told you 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I wield. I'm sorry, Mandy. I can't turn into a sword for you.
Nah.
This is a good song. Mandy's gonna go dance. You know, you seem to like dancing, Sunder. You could dance with Mandy. I'm feeling healed from my abduction. Do you want to, dance? Yeah, let's jam. Oh, I got pink hearts for dancing. Dance like we're gonna die in 50 years. It's an interesting way to dance, I suppose. So, Mandy is gonna go and hang out with the bouncer, and I'm going to dance with Sunder. And Sunder mostly sways and sips his drink, but Mandy dances with abandon. I can feel the music thumping in my chest. You know what? If I'm going to dance with somebody, I am going to show my entire bad dancing moves all at once. Let's try some moves. Mandy takes it as an invitation to dance very, very close to me. Oh, hello, Mandy. Let's do this. Sunder smiles and heads away while I dance with Mandy. And Mandy leans in to talk to me. Oh, I should be careful. She's calling me little one. Little one? Little? Do I look little to you? Well, they don't know. I don't have a camera on. Sunder eats up lovers one by one. He seems nice, but he's double-edged. I know you said you're looking for a soulmate, so Sunder isn't it. Oh, well, I didn't say I was looking for a soulmate. I said I wanted to believe they existed. Let's be precise here. Sunder is using me because I'm a wielder. It's part of his addiction, but he's too selfish and violent to be a good boyfriend. Alright, so... Well, of course he's violent. He's a sword. I'm not going to be distracted by like that. So, part of his addiction... I think she hasn't mentioned anything about drugs. And she was dancing with me. I could really come on hot and heavy. This is one I haven't tried or seen tried, right? I'm gonna try I'd Rather Be With You. Mandy smirks. Aw, not gonna happen. That's sad. That's a shame. I was wondering if I would get a new sword. I guess not. But Mandy is so sweet. And there we go. A sword is dancing its way towards me. I wonder how the swords move. Like, I would love to see that animated as the sword dances. So just now, let's enjoy this moment while we can. I'm going to say that, yeah, I'm going to rat her out because she rejected me. Yeah, she totally did. And then she rejected me when I said that I would rather be with her. Called me kitten and little one. Okay, yeah, we should talk. Go ahead. Aw, no epic transformation this time. So Sunder's gonna prove her wrong. Done things in the past, but I'm a good person. Hey, the best cushy. Yes, this is psychology in video games. Right now, we are just dating in video games, waiting for the psychology part to come up. But We are hitting on these people, feeling rejected, so we do mean things, which is psychology in and of itself. So the question came up in chat, what exactly are we talking about? And since we haven't been talking about it much while we're trying to get to that point, I can give a good summary. So you may or may not be aware that this game had some controversy surrounding it, and I'm trying to get up to the point where controversy starts, the thing that caused the controversy started to happen. Yes, and we're talking about my love for two-handed swords use. And so I'm trying to get up to the point where that controversy started to happen so that I can discuss why I think it happened. So right now we are in the process of being lulled into a false sense of security. And then as soon as the controversy starts to happen, we're going to go into that and why that may have happened. So yeah, I'm glad we got introduced to Eric because you are essential to my psychology in video games discussion. So I should come by Naked Steel sometimes. Our scimitars have scintillating curves, and I get special prices. And so I'm going to play a little bit coy and be like, oh, I'll think about it. Maybe I'm going to see you there. Look, giving me volition, up to you, of course. Be waiting and hoping. Everything seems good so far. Sunder, on the other hand, is being incredibly flirty and says, I can tell you to back off, but this is how you are, and says, I am a good dancer. Is that code? Should I be recognizing this? I'm not savvy on such things. Oh, and only if I wanted to be. See, still giving me volition and options. And here's my mom talking about me being afraid of change. Who is ratting you out to my monsters and my fears of change? It must be Jessie. Less dangerous could appear like cobra wrestling or wreck diving. I have healthcare. It'll be okay. No, it is. This is why you drive insensibly, too, because everybody has car insurance. Isn't that how that's supposed to go? If something happens, my mom will be so upset, but will support me no matter what. This is the stuff about mom that would be upsetting, right? If you don't have a mother who is doing that, it can create some discomfort or upset. And so this is probably why they included that warning. Because this doesn't yet, anything that I've played doesn't appear to be story relevant necessarily. Yeah, sorry, Mom. I was being a jerk. I was just channeling my inner jerk a little bit. And Jesse is going to let me know when he has set up my next date. So I believe now I can go to Naked Steel and get this party started in terms of this discussion. So where can I? Ah, there we go. Yes. Hello, Eric. Hello, Naked Steel. But, there we go. Yep, nothing is in sheaths. This seal is most definitely naked. It doesn't even seem to sell sheaths. Alright, I spot Eric reading a book. What is your book?
came.
What book
Hi.
are you reading?
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, nice
Thanks.
job.
We just restocked our spadroon supply.
I don't know what a spadroon is. Could you show me
Let
what
me give
that
you a
is?
tour.
Yes, show me a spadroon. Verona Beach knuckleheads mostly want switchblades and razors. Yes, but show me a spadroon. You're not going to show me a spadroon, are you? Rolling his eyes, the smith being like, nobody wants to see good things anymore. And I teach classes on the history of war. See, I am down for this. I want the spadroon. I want the history of war. My favorite weapon is... Do I like the Talwar? I'm pretty sure that's Sunder. Or the Estok. That's Isaac. I think I like Isaac better. Isaac says things like enchanté, and I just like that. I fear you let me break a few rules now and then. Oh wait, you mean a weapon person, right? Of course. Oh, look at his look of disgust. Well, you haven't shown me any of your actual weapons or given them to me, so how am I supposed to know if I like wielding a real sword if you won't show me a real sword? It's actually fascinating wielding someone else and trusting them with your life. Really, they're trusting me with their life, right? Because I'm the one controlling the sword. Although I guess Sunder can dance like a sword, so I guess that means that he has some ability to move as a sword, even if it's not animated. Ooh, I wonder who Excalibur would trans into. But then I remember Sun Tzu and Napoleon and Genghis Khan. People win wars. How do you know that their weapons did not turn into people? You just don't know. Weapons are tools. Wielders make the decisions, the strategies, the tactics. It's not polite to say, and pure humans aren't superior, but the truth is we're better suited to leadership. Pure?
Mm-hmm.
or whatever the opposite of hybrid is.
Mm-hmm.
I have a little project I think you'd be interested in to forging a new and improved kind of weapon. Way more fun to wield than that boring S-talk you like so much. I know, look how disgusted you are. I don't know what to call this supreme sword yet. Name it after me. Name it the JediPsychTricks. That's right.
Ah.
What about the Eric blade? Quite a ring to it. You're a font of inspiration. No, you were supposed to name it after me, not you. Me, not you. It's not supposed to be fancy. It's an intelligent weapon. Doesn't need its own thoughts and feelings and baggage. Ultimate weapon, tactical insight, none of the drama. You sound like Pygmalion. That's what you sound like, right? Pygmalion is if I'm remembering my Greek myths right, he created a woman and loved her so much that she came to life, and then she had opinions and baggage and insight. It was great and terrible all at the same time. You want it to be mindless? Want it to be my perfect tool. It would want to be my perfect tool. But in practice, it's going to be mindless because I can't make anybody want to be my perfect tool. I make them a perfect servant. So this is where we start to get into some of the creepier stuff, right? Where he's like, hey, I'm making a perfect servant, making somebody to be my tool, and is selling me stuff, but I don't have any money. You said you were going to give me a discount, man, and I don't have any money. Yes, catch you on the sharp side, sweetheart. Now, I still can't wield any of your swords because I can't afford them. Yeah, I see why you prefer steel weapons, and each person gets to do whatever they want. I'm cool with that. Anything wrong with weapon people, they're just not for me. Can't expect a person to sit in a case looking pretty all day, can you? You could pay them. Like, they have models at stores that will literally just stand in the front window of stores wearing clothes. So you could, right? This is a thing that if you could pay people to do. Oh, I guess that wasn't the right answer. I guess that wasn't the right answer. But you could, like, that is a thing that people do. I've seen it at stores before. I had a friend in high school who that's all they did. They went, they put some clothes on, they stood in a window for a little while. Clearly they were a better looking friend, but they did, and that's a thing that they got to do. So now I am back to having some choices. I can go back to this shop, but I don't think... Oh, maybe there's some exclamation points. Do you say something kind to me now? Nope. Find time in your busy love life to stop by. Look at him rejecting my love life and being all mad at me. Oh, there's more stuff here now. That's great. More stuff I can't afford. I've got to go face my fears in the dungeon to get money. Because I don't have a job. There's nothing else I can do. But before I do that, should I practice? Nah, let's go right back in. Let's just try not to die. Oh, wait. I can't. Sunder currently is the only one I can play. I think I have to go here first before I get a choice of swords. So I have to practice. I stop by. There's the assistant saying, excuse me, do you have an appointment? And I think so.
Well, hello.
Ah, see? See? I know people. They're going to let me in. I am always welcome to come whenever I'd like. Yeah, yes, sir. That's right. Good to see you. Let's begin. Do you prefer foil, saver, or epi? I don't know. Can't I just wield you? I can't teach while wielded. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Ready yourself. On guard. Oh, look at that. Look at how fast you get changed. I guess when you change into a sword, changing your clothes isn't so bad. Turn to regard me from the side. One over your shoulder and hip. This is the on guard stance. You're quite literally on guard. Yes, that's what that means. Find out the basic moves. Look into my eyes. Front foot, then back. I'm going to lunge forward. Hey, one step at a time. This isn't anger management. Oh, I thought I was supposed to use the sword. Whatever. In foil, you can score by hitting. I think I did just hit your torso. Dungeons, I don't need to score points. Just bash things on the head. Use epee rules. Any hit counts. Yes, I know. I did. I did lunge. Extend with your front leg with all your weight and keep your front foot flat. Did I do the good? Did I do it? Yes, I am talented. And now I can use riposte. Holding roll lets you counterattack. Okay. The more time we spend together, the better we'll fight. Means something different for each weapon, but for me, parry is a friends-only maneuver. Ah, thank you. I'm so glad we're friends now. It's a special move just for us. Check out parry and the combo details on my phone, but for now, we're going to take a break, and he's going to shrug back into his other clothes. I wish I got changed that fast, and look that dapper. Perhaps we can get to know each other. Why do I want to get to know each other? Let's get dinner and get to know each other. Aw, you have an appointment. I dashing dunge hero now, right? What do my parents think? They are afraid. But my mom always tries to support me. Oh, look at those yellow hearts. I wonder if these hearts have different meanings, right? Does my mother adopt? I'm sure she does. She's very sweet and seems to love sending text messages. I do prefer life on the straight and narrow. Yes, you just told me that. And in enters this dude who thinks you should be working. You can go wait in the lobby. Yeah, get out of here. You're gonna keep a guest waiting while you faff about? Oh, this guy says faff about. Yeah, Vincent, get out. I'm in here. Some priority in the life of my only child. Yeah, awkward. But I'm going to be polite to you. I'm sure meeting me is the highlight. Oh, yeah, no, I'm done being polite. Yeah, Isaac will text me for our next appointment. What? Texting is slumming? Oh, no. Drink water from plastic bottles, too. Oh, gosh, this dude. I shouldn't have been polite to that dude. I forgot. I'm going to eavesdrop because that's how you hear these things. Oh, low standards. I'm not low I guess I am kind of low standards, aren't I? I'm gonna leave. Now I feel bad. You are bad and I should feel bad. Sunder's messaging me. Sunder will say nice things to me. Maybe? Maybe I'm up. Maybe I'm not up. Feeling extra sharp today. Pixar, it didn't happen. Ta-da! I want to kiss it! No, no, no. Let's just give it a plus. Be very nice to you. Uh-oh, full body blushes. Oh, dear. Yeah, see you at the dunge, too. Oh, Isaac, I'm so sorry. I eavesdropped on your conversation. Do you care for business talk? Yeah, sure. Anything that's interesting to you. Ah, it's going to give me business advice when audited. Oh, Isaac doesn't like business talk. I thought you told me you were on the straight and narrow. Oh, dear. Mom, I did go on a date. It was wonderful. They teach you well. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's what moms are all about. You got to get the claws out if somebody's mean to your kid. That's right. Go all mama bear with the knife. Stabby stab. You got to wield somebody, too. Look at my mom. Stabby stabbing. Go, Mom. Maybe she has somebody to wield, too. Oh, he's being mean to my Jessie. That's mean. Don't be mean to Jessie. That's my cousin. No, you're being mean. Stop being mean. Don't be mean to my cousin. Alright, now I think we can go fight. So, I think I have to fight once more to get another thing. But let's talk about the controversy that goes on. Because I've been playing this game for quite some time and we haven't gotten into the psychology of it. So, what happens... Well, I guess some of the psychology is fearing
change is totally normal.
Facing our Freudian fears, right? Like, our fears show up in our dreams as all sorts of objects, and according to Freud, all of those objects were a penis. So we'll talk about Freud while we beat up some penis phones. And that's actually only kind of exaggerating, right? So Freud's theories had a lot to do with, and folks are familiar with these, folks are familiar with stuff like the Oedipus complex, right? That's the guy who was a Greek king who killed his father, married his mother, and the idea is that little boys want to kill their fathers and marry their mothers, right? Not every little boy, but many little boys go through a phase where they say, Mommy, marry me, and they want to, and that he implied that meant that they wanted to kill their fathers and marry their mothers. I wanted to save that T. I forgot that I should have left that there. And so he was sort of looking from the outside in. And then for girls, what he proposed was that, hey, go down the escalator. What he proposed that little girls experienced penis envy. That is, all little girls wanted to be boys, and they were mad that boys got to have penises and they did not. And that little boys had castration anxiety, that they thought that because they were competition for their father, in terms of their mother, right, in terms of their mother's affection, they were afraid, according to Freud, that their fathers were going to castrate them, because of course that would mean that they were no longer competition for the mother's affections. So that's where the idea of penis envy comes from. And for girls, girls always had some sort of analog to what Freud was proposing for boys. And the analog for girls was penis envy. So we've got castration anxiety and penis envy. And I have found a dagger. There we go. The hilt is wrapped in several layers of leather. And look, it's
What
chipped
the
up
hell?
too. That's right.
You not just, like, grab me without warning?
Yeah, sorry about that. The game forces me to.
I know tradition is all choose your weapon, but consent is important.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry too. I didn't mean to snap. I'm not sure what's going on. I was out at night, as you do, and then, bam! I'm here. My blade hurts. Monsters everywhere. I'm Valeria. Nice to meet you. Sort of.
You
I
were
guess
abducted?
so. And damaged, too.
Yeah, that's not awesome.
Normally, I'd switch to human form around now, to be polite. But I don't know you. I'm still recovering from whatever just happened. I'd rather play it safe.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
I'm certainly not going to put myself in a stranger's hands and let you use me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can take care of myself. Mostly. I could use some extra cash, though, so I'll keep in touch. Ciao.
So
now.
you're going to use me for money, is this what I'm hearing? I can't use you for swords, but you can definitely use me for money. Remind me what this is? Oh, a challenge room, that's right. Oh, yes. Try not to get dead, that's what this room is. Is Valeria already texting me? I think so. I think she's already texting me. That's right. On guard. That's right. I'm gonna lunge. See, you told me not to rush into lunging, but look at how important this is. Take that. See? Look at how important it was that I rush into things and bash things with my sword. So very important. Oh, I can't break that. But I like to break all the things. Ooh, a fountain. Yes, let's have a little bit of a rest. Let's rest at the fountain. Oh, Isaac is staring at the water all pensive. You think the monsters came? But the monsters don't come unless we're here. So the monsters aren't really there, you know? And so they're not really enjoying the water unless we're enjoying the water. To me, this is true spirituality. You wanna pray?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I can appreciate the beauty. Oh, beauty like me. Would I like to... I don't have a gift for him. Eventually I feel the moment pass, and I'm gonna go back to dunging. I don't have a gift that I think you will like. My straight-edged friend. But what I did find is one of these. Give me all sorts of stuff. Yes, isn't that what dunging is about? No harm taking all the stuff, because that's what being in this dungeon is about. Was that the only exit? Yeah, it was. Because, oh right, I have a map. I always forget in games like this to pay any attention to the mini-maps. So, this mini-map looks like I can go that way, but I can't. I always forget to pay attention to the mini-maps in there. So yeah, so we've got that kind of Freudian perspective. Oh wait, I came from here. That Freudian perspective with regards to our subconscious and everything. The reason that the joke is the way that it is, saying that for Freud everything is a penis, has a lot to do with the fact that his theories of personality, which came from as theories of psychopathology, right? Now we think of personality as being separate from a discussion of psychopathology, but at the time they were part and parcel to each other. And his theories had to do with child psychosexual development, and everything came down to things like wanting to kill your father and marry your mother, and subsequently also, girls wanting to kill their mother and marry their father. Ah, my form is improving. Thank you, Isaac. I like words of affirmation. I found some glass. Excellent. So that's what that's all about, and that's where the joke comes from, are from those elements of his theoretical model. And we're seeing an awful lot of that here, right? I'm going to keep going until I gain a rank with Isaac. And then maybe switch swords. Oh, see, remember I was talking about before that I could go up? Here's the elevator that leads up. Whee! Okay, yep, get here. On guard! What I need to do, though, is I need to get on another date. So, that's some psychology that we can talk about in this game, right? But it's not the psychology that we talk about in this game. And what is going to happen, and I needed to start at the beginning for everybody to see the expectations, is that we're going to start experiencing the stalking that is mentioned and some of the other more disturbing pieces of content. And it does give warning, and that's a good thing. But from the way that everything was... What's this? Oh, look at that! Secret shortcut! Secret passageway from the conservatory to the lounge. Take this and that. I can refill on this. Yeah, get out of here. And so, what the controversy was involved was people getting really upset on the extent to which that storyline upset them, essentially. People were levied criticism against the publishers of the game about... Oh, red roses. Oh, wait, who likes red roses? Who likes red rose? Oh, Sunder does. I will make Sunder a rose. Excellent. So, people experienced emotions. Real emotions, right? And probably with good reason. People experience discomfort. And typically, if a media can make you experience discomfort, if you are experiencing a media and it creates good emotions, that's usually seen as a good thing, right? That it has actually tapped into human emotions in some sort of genuine way. That is usually seen as a success on the part of the artist. And yet, in this case, there was all sorts of a hullabaloo about that, those experiences of emotions. And the question then becomes, why? What happened here that a game designer and a storyteller doing their job so well led to so much criticism? I don't know anything about games. You need to loosen up. Oh, you weren't allowed near any sort of games? No, you should play games. Let's play pinball. Pinball is fantastic. Oh no, the blinky lights. I guess you don't like pinball. This is like the classic game, and I've spelled the word betrayal. Games are surely a waste of time. Hey, don't knock the medium. I don't have any presents for you anyway. I guess that's not what he wanted to hear. They are certainly not a waste of time. There are all sorts of positive benefits to playing games. And one of them is feeling genuine emotions. And I can think of a lot of games that are known for the genuine emotions that they elicit. So, for example, I have friends who are veterans who have recommended to me that I play this War of Mine for the true emotions that it elicits, and that it gives somewhat of a good idea of some of the decision-making process that happens in war zones. These are games that make you experience true emotions. People play horror games, oopsie, because they want to experience... I actually think I had another one of those back there. Because they want to experience the true emotion of fear and being startled. Now, of course, not in a way that's actually putting them in danger. They don't want to actually... potentially be killed by some sort of evil monster, but the point of the game is to create emotions as if you are in that situation. And so there's a lot of surprise, right, that this developer, these storytellers did such a good job creating those emotions, and suddenly it bit them in the butt. And there are a lot of folks who have opinions on why that happens, but I want to talk about a particular psychological phenomenon that I think also helps to explain why that might have created so much upset in the people who played this particular game. And that is, I think it has to do with experiences of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance occurs when you have two sets of beliefs or two sets of behaviors that are in opposition to each other, and you personally have them, and it makes us uncomfortable when we realize that we hold opposing beliefs. When essentially it's the discomfort that we feel when we find out that we are hypocrites. And so that's the easiest way to explain it, right? But not all cases of cognitive dissonance require us personally to be engaging in hypocritical behaviors or to experience hypocrisy. Cognitive dissonance is any time we have two beliefs that are in opposition to each other. And so if we think about it, one of those beliefs may have been, I am playing a game that is sensitive to issues of trauma and psychological theories, right? And all of this game seems to be about understanding my insecurities and understanding various aspects of trauma and consent, and really setting up that expectation that the type of game I am playing, I found a cultist miter recipe. I don't even know what that is. The type of game that I am playing is one that is sensitive to psychological concerns, and one that is going to give warning when I'm going to experience emotions, is going to be more progressive in its viewpoints, for example. Everybody's saying, hey, you do you. There's a sword that explicitly talks about the importance of consent and not running up and just touching people. I have apparently found a giant cat. Let's talk to the cat. Aw, Isaac just loves art. Isaac thinks of cats when they're fencing. They have poise and grace. I love all animals. Even snakes? Yuck. Aw. He loves me because I like snakes. I like swords. What makes you think I won't like snakes? Come on now. And so that's the type of game we start to form the belief that we are playing and that we are endorsing with our time. Ooh, I can make vodka. Wonder who likes vodka. So when we then start to encounter these uncomfortable situations and the behaviors that we find morally repugnant, it starts to come into conflict with the beliefs that we had about the sort of game that we were playing. So we often go into games for a certain experience and then are surprised when we get a different experience. And sometimes that is the point of the game. And I can think of a lot of games that do that. And some of them give really good warnings, and other ones maybe not so much. So for example, I picked up, and this example is used a lot in comparison to the controversy around this, I picked up Doki Doki Literature Club. And I picked it up having no actual idea what it was. I didn't actually read all of the game page. The way that I picked it up is that it was recommended in my recommendations list after I had played Dream Daddy. And Dream Daddy was a great game that was a pure dating sim. It had, it had plot to it, but it definitely didn't have any terribly surprising twists that I came across. It was just a really cool vibe, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try other dating sims and see if they're actually as good as this dad dating simulator that I started playing because I saw it played on Playframe, and I was like, all right, yeah, this seems really great. I'm going to play the rest of it on my own. And sure enough, it had a really cool, chill vibe. And so I picked up Doki Doki Literature Club. I've maxed you out. Let's do this. I picked up Doki Doki Literature Club thinking that it was the same sort of game. And it's not. Doki Doki Literature Club. Oh, oopsie. Oopsie doopsie. You. Yoink. Nope. I am doing like 0 damage to this guy because I just switched swords. And I don't have my flame thingy. Heck. So when we got, and I don't want to spoil 2 games at once, right? So I'm not going to spoil Doki Doki Literature Club, but you definitely get to the point where you realize that you are not playing a Dream Daddy-like game. Oh, it got me. I fell down and Sunder had to catch me. That you are not playing a Dream Daddy-like game, that this is a very different type of game. I actually had the same experience when I played Hatoful Boyfriend, which is a dating simulator with birds. And I was of the impression that Hatoful Boyfriend was just going to be that the conceit of that, the thing that made it weird and twisty and worth playing, was dating simulator with birds. And then suddenly other stuff was happening. And for many, this can be experienced as a pleasant surprise. But if you are surprised by something that is especially stressful to you, it can also be received much more poorly. Okay, so I can make red roses. Let's put those together. I'm going to give that to Sunder the next time I get a gifting opportunity. I don't know. Is this a baseball cap? Is that what I'm seeing here? Occultist might... What is this even? It's... Am I going to meet the person in robes that was chanting? I'm going to go on a date with them. I don't have everything I need for vodka. I need more... Vodka apparently requires... Is that carpet? I need carpet for my vodka. Okay. Can I make any more zines? No. So, I think when folks started playing this game and expecting one thing and getting another, now they have two beliefs that are in contradiction to each other. Am I fighting my inner demons in the dungeon with swords? Yeah, it's like therapy, but with swords. I wish I could go into that sort of therapy, right? Like, go train with swords, and then you can be a licensed therapist. Yeah, ha, ha. That's such a mom joke. Yeah. 12 years. That's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Hearts. Heart, Mom. Alright, next up. Isaac would like to practice some more, and I, of course, say, yes, I'm going to practice. I'll be in the Sanctuary of San Drogo. And Valeria wants to meet up with me. Yes. I would like to meet up. Thumbs up. Let's do this. Double thumbs up. Great. Where are we going to meet up? I guess I'm not meeting up with Valeria just yet. I have to go on a different date first, maybe? And so when they got to that point, they experienced that, so they have the two competing... They have two competing thoughts, right? Can you do anything else for me now? He's so salty. No. Okay. That does look like carpet. Where can I find some more carpet? Other than dungeon. Can you give me carpet? Yes. Sell me... Oh, it's fabric. It's not quite carpet. It is fabric. So I can buy fabric. Ooh, look at all these clothes that I can buy, though. What are we going to wear? I think I want to change into a blue camo jacket, is what I want to do. I'm going to spend frivolously instead of spending reasonably. So, when we experience those two competing emotions, and we experience these in day-to-day life all the time, right? We realize that we've done something that could be considered hypocritical. And when we do that, we experience that cognitive dissonance, and now we have to do something to try to get rid of the dissonance. Oh, I see. Doubles all damage. Yeah, but it's ugly. No, I'm not wearing that. Take my hat off. I love these hats, though, and all of the choices that I have. And these were default. That's fantastic. But I don't want to wear the damage hat. So, what was I saying? I got distracted by the damage hat. Oh, yes. So we're motivated to get rid of this uncomfortable state, right? Because we're not feeling so great on the inside when we are experiencing cognitive dissonance. We like to believe that our expectations about the world are going to be real, are going to become reality. This guy likes to fight in church sanctuaries. My parry is too consistent, going slower or faster, or trying a new direction. Let's be surprising. Let's parry diagonally. Yes, perfect. All right.
Oh?
That's right. Oops. I accidentally flirted. This sounds like real life. When I try to flirt, it comes out all wrong, but sometimes I accidentally flirt and don't realize I'm doing it. That sounds about right. So I'm just going to be like, on guard then. Ah, he's kicking my butt. Have
Oh?
mercy! I handled you quite well, even though you got impatient. Lover rank 2. Now I get to choose. Ripost's timing is now more forgiving, or riposte knocks enemies back even further. I don't even know how to riposte, so let's be forgiving on the timing, just in case. Should we continue or take a break? How are you feeling? I'm feeling, why are we in a church? Mother raised you in the church. Yeah, I haven't seen your mother, just your father. Aw, don't knock your mother. My mother's a saint, though, so I don't know what to tell you. Came for the community, but took to it deeply. So many mysteries. Some people suffer, others become swords. Well, you can suffer as a sword, too. Do I believe in a god of some kind? Everybody close your eyes. Sorry. I would feel so alone without something greater. Even so, I hope this doesn't come between us. Nah, you can believe whatever you want. You can believe whatever you want. We just all have our own beliefs. And love is power. Not lust, but real, genuine, patient love. And can connect everybody, no matter the deity. Oh, that's so accepting. I love it. See, you're in this game that you feel is so accepting and will just let you be who you want to be within this game and let you be with who you want to be with. Business is a powerful tool. Aw, started this place to tackle wealth inequality, but most wealthy people aren't interested. Ah, that is really sad and kind of true. Thank you for handling my father so graciously. He can be difficult. Lots of saber rattling. Is he a businessman too? He has money, but inherited it. So yeah, see, he doesn't do work. He doesn't understand. Yeah. He wants what's best for me. I don't know if he does. He didn't really seem like he wanted what was best for anybody but him. I love all the wordplay here. I couldn't get any word in edgewise. He's rattling his sabers. How do you work up the courage to go into the dungeon even when you're... Is your dad a dungeon monster? So wait, the monsters that you're fighting don't have to be things like phones. They could be actual people. Life is more complicated than a dungeon. It sure is. Even in human form, I find it easier to parry than go on the offensive. Yeah, that's why you got mad at me when I lunged earlier, but you were teaching me to fight with swords. I mean, come on.
Oh?
We better get out of people's way. I don't think people want you sword fighting while they're giving a sermon on the pulpit. Like, I think that it's time that we be respectful to the church and not fight in it. Would I like to offer a gift? Do I have something that I think you would like? I have the funny hat. I have the bracelets. I have the rose. I don't think I have anything that you would like. I really need to figure out something that I think that Isaac would like, because I'm really not sure. Oh, and another date has been found. That's fantastic. Who is my date this time? You've probably already met her. Who is she? Who is this person? Go to Paradise Lost tomorrow at noon. Oh, I'm going to go to the cat place. Ooh, I like cats. They're cute. She'll wear a blue jacket. Fantastic. And don't forget to smile. But fake smiles are bad. Never mind. Smiling is optional. People can tell the difference between fake smiles and real smiles because real smiles hit the eyes and fake smiles don't. And even if you don't actually cognitively know that task, we can tell the difference without actually knowing. So I went off to be on my own, and I'm facing my fears, and my mother is proud. Aww. It's hard. It's hard, Mom, but you're here. You're here on my phone with me. I'm doing something really hard and really brave and growing up. And my mom will be here when I need them. Aww. Thanks, Mom. That's so sweet. See, it's nice to have a mother like this. And see, that's the sentiment, right? That maybe they're trying to let you avoid. And now we're talking to Isaac, who is very pleased with my progress. I'm doing a good job. What's the right emoji to use? Praying with an eggplant, party time. Okay, I'm really not going to lean into that. I'm just going to be like, you don't need emoji. That's good. Emojis make you feel old? Are emojis an old people thing? I didn't know that emojis were an old people thing. And Valeria wants to find me, so let's go find Valeria. See you by the pond. Ah, here we go. So now we can start to get into some of this as well. Some of this stuff comes up with Valeria as well. See you... Where? Oh, Pacifica Park. There it is. So let's find you here. Look, I've got a new outfit. Don't I look so good in my camouflage? Nobody can see me. Ah, and there's... Oh, look. Look, and we're not going to pick her up, right? Consent is important, not just for her, but she's also made it very clear it is for her. This is the first time that I've been given the option not to touch a weapon without their permission, which is fantastic. But I hope it starts becoming more common. Look at her. She's such an artist. Look at all that prettiness. Ah, that's better. She stops and gives you a piercing look up and down. I didn't really get a proper look at you. Aw, she thinks I'm cute. Now I'm gonna blush. I'm gonna say you too. And she got dressed up. Look at all those bracelets. See?
Thanks.
See? This is why I saved the bracelets. And we met in public. And she's smart, right? Notice that none of the guy swords had to worry about that. They didn't even think about it at all. But this is a thing that the girl dagger does, and that makes a whole lot of sense. An erotic twist, somebody clearly backstabbed me. Yes, safety first, right? Because you may end up being an axe murderer, and this is the sort of thing you think about when you meet somebody for the first time. You should do it in a highly public and safe place. I am not an axe. Not that it'd be a problem if you were, but... because she wouldn't want to experience the cognitive dissonance of being upset that you're an axe when she is in fact a dagger. And so her two beliefs are, you can be an axe if you want to, I can be a dagger if I want to, everybody's fine. There's no conflict there, and therefore there's no dissonance. There's no sort of upsetting internal conflict that's going on. You know, your deal. What is my deal? Tell you up front. Before anything happens. I don't know what my deal is. My cousin's making me date people, and they're all kind of nice and all, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then there's this guy that everybody starts getting uppity about, but I don't know why they're all uppity yet. It'll be fun to find out what my deal is together. And then there's this dude. Can we help you? Everything all right? Oh, see it? And he's checking in on her. Stares me down and then moves on. That's a friend. And you know what? I've done that with friends too. Except we had a text messaging code because we were in two different cities. And I knew that if she texted me a certain thing, and I don't even remember what that thing is anymore. She texted me a certain thing. My job was to call either a local friend, or if it was another thing, to call the police. And if she didn't answer at all, I would also send people in. This is the sort of thing that we do. In fact, there's apps for that, that you can connect with people to make sure that you're safe on dates. So absolutely, Valeria, I won't take it the wrong way. It just happens, right? Everything's too convenient. I know. It's almost like an author is just writing this story, and I happen to just be running into exactly the people the author wants me to run into. Nobody's ever called me charming. No, really, I'm just socially awkward, and so I guess sometimes people think that social awkwardness is charming. You know you have to say something or you'll never see her again. Yeah, well, get to know me. You don't get to judge me just because the author is writing me in a very convenient way. See? Yellow hearts. That's right. Come to Verena Beach, get to know me, make new friends. Lover rank. Now I can wield you as a sword and confuse people when I roll. I confuse myself when I roll, too. And if you turn out to be an evil mastermind, yeah. Yes, definitely. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And I would like to give you a gift because I have these... Oh, these are only 2 gifts. I have these beautiful bracelets that I think you would enjoy. Oh, look at all that love that I just got. Exactly her style. Peace out. Peace out. I will see you in the dungeon. But wait, no. I wanted to go... Oh, I find a rose on my doorstep. How pretty. The rose says, thinking of you, Eric. Oh, it's not even. It's not even from Sunder. It is from Eric, who has left me a rose. So far, everything seems just fine. Valeria says, next time, a real date. Yes, let's go for coffee. One where I don't confuse you of being an axe murderer. Oh, you knew a nice axe? I would like to wield an axe. I haven't tried that. I'm very glad to hear that you have healed. And yes, let's go on a real date this time. Someplace fun. And Eric is sending me, thank you so much for the rose. It was very sweet. So far I haven't seen anything. What do you mean no need to thank you? Aw, see, look. So he's starting to get really clingy, right? A woman like you deserves appreciation. I'm going to give you these things. Come by the shop. That manipulation of if you don't hate me. Now, none of that reads like this yet, right? But that's the thing. You think that you're experiencing one thing, and you start to experience something else. So, for example, I'm going to go to the cat store now. Meow. Hey, Red Fighter, you're just in time. We are going to Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost.
What
I'm Olivia. What kind of cats do you like?
I like... Red Fighter, you must tell me, what type of cat do I like? The friendly kind? The fluffy kind? All of them? And I'm certainly not saying that I'm not a cat person. I will not tell Olivia that I am allergic to cats. So, Red Fighter, what type of cat do I like? We're pausing just for a second for Red Fighter to tell me what type of cat I like, and for me to tell you that when we experience cognitive dissonance, we are very motivated to get rid of it. It's actually an activating physiological state. It activates our fight and flight response, and so we really want to make that go away. Red Fighter says that I like all the cats.
But it's true that every cat deserves love.
She just called me out because it was a cop-out. Do you want to order coffee? I'm meeting someone. Oh, I'm meeting you. I'm sorry. No, he did not tell me I was meeting you. And you're wearing a work apron. There you go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at all those pins. I want to know what the pins say. I really want to know what the pins say. We could just hang out and pet cats. I don't really like dates. So, want to play some games or trying to guess the right things to say. Oh yeah, I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad at that. I totally understand. Yeah, see, you'll never know. Focusing on me. Don't look behind you, but somebody is watching us in the window, and I don't see anybody. Maybe they're gone. An elegant cat comes up and stares at us. Who are you, kitty? You are new here. May I pet you? The cat stalks away. Oh, see, the cat is stalking you. We're hanging out with Olivia, and I will say, hey, want to meet up again? No. I'm too intense. What are you talking about? I was chill. I have a weird vibe. Almost like I'm being watched. You were being watched. That's the problem. So if any of my friends become single, I'll let you know. But you totally were being watched. So let's... The cat continues to stare at me, and I cannot pet the cat. Oh, I want to pet the cat. And then, now, Eric knows that my date didn't work out. You know her? I don't need to. I saw your date-tastrophe. I've been there. I know how it feels to be rejected. You're better than all of them. Thanks, I think. See, this is where it... Sorry if I'm awkward. So, see, now he's getting awkward and but maybe we're friends? Yeah, friends are the best. You can't date them all. Now look at me, dating all these people. Check out the gym in town, and the most romantic holiday ever is coming around. What is the most Arbor Day? Ah, the 4th of July. Of course. Of course. Fireworks. You're going to make a romantic 4th of July. Oh, that's why you think it's romantic, because you met your partner. Oh, I finally know your partner's name. There we go. So now, I can't make another bracelet, apparently. So, that's all I got. That's all she wrote, folks. No more bracelets for you. Are there any more dates I can go on? Otherwise, I have to go back in the dungeon. Or the gym. There's a gym over here. Oh, I can play with them in the gym? What happens when I do that? So, like, let's mess with Valeria in the gym. Okay. Oh, that's it. You can just change up fighting styles. Well, that's good to know. Go me. So let's go visit Eric and be like, hey, Eric, did you turn into a cat? Are you a cat, Eric? You don't have anything to say to me. Okay. I also can't, like, level up with Eric, right? Like, he's not actually somebody that I can have a relationship with, even if I wanted to. Yeah, text me later. I need some... Do I have enough money for fabric? I do. Okay. Let's go craft the last thing that we can craft, and then... Because we want to have... all the presents that we can have. I have no idea who's going to like vodka, but that appears to be everything I can craft. Yep. Everything I know how to make, I have made. So I guess it is time to dunge. So, while we are dunging, we are... Oh, wait, maybe not. We are motivated to... Oh, I don't have enough money for the ballet. Let's go get some money for the ballet. So we are motivated to get rid of this uncomfortable physiological state. Let's start with ballet. Go to the first floor. I need money. So we're trying to get rid of this uncomfortable physiological state. And so we have a few things we can do, right? We're experiencing this hypocrisy.
It's nice that it's not so crowded.
Isn't it, though? It's going to be crowded with phones. Ha ha. And so what can we do? Well, if we're being hypocritical with the combination of we believe one thing and we're behaving another way, the easiest thing, or the thing that comes to mind first is just don't do that anymore. Don't behave in a hypocritical way, right? If you are acting in a way that is not in line with your beliefs, just stop doing that. Now, there are a couple reasons why that doesn't work in this situation, and one of them is, well, that forces you to just stop playing a game that you paid money for, and that doesn't really sit well with someone who has purchased a game and wants to play the game, and who just in general wants to get their money's worth out of a product that they've purchased. Is that really the only place to go? It also actually doesn't work in general. So what you find is that people don't follow the advice of, if your behaviors and your beliefs do not align with each other, simply change the behaviors. That's not what we've actually seen in consistently happening within the research. Changing behavior is hard. It's not something that we can just do on a whim, just tell ourselves stop doing the thing anymore, and then we instantly stop doing the thing. There wouldn't be all sorts of fad diet programs, there wouldn't be all sorts of motivational speakers. None of those would be necessary if you could just be like, okay, now I'm not going to do this thing anymore. Sometimes this thing that I find to be very rewarding in its own right, even though it is not falling in line with my stated values or even my actually held values. And so changing your behavior is difficult, even when you want to change the behavior. But sometimes you don't want to change the behavior. I want to be able to play video games, and this was a video game that I was invested in having fun with. I purchased this game because I thought it was going to be fun, and I want it to be fun. So then what happens? Well, now I still have these two, this belief that does one thing, and then a set of behaviors, or a set of behaviors that I want to engage in that falls on the other side. And that's upsetting, right? That creates that uncomfortable physiological state, and I haven't successfully made that state go away yet. So then we have to start thinking of, well, what are our alternatives? One of the other alternatives, we can do a lot of things, by the way. We're really good at things like rationalization, explaining why this particular thing is not actually as bad as it looks. So, for example, I may hold the belief I am on a diet, but then I eat some chocolate cake, right? And so I may have to rationalize, well, yeah, I know you're on a diet and you ate some chocolate cake, but it wasn't that big of a piece of chocolate cake. Or I had salad for lunch, so chocolate cake isn't so bad if I've had salad for lunch. Or, you know what, I'm not on a diet anymore. Now, all of these are slightly different things. I guess let me start with the I had salad for lunch, or it's not a very big piece of chocolate cake. These are rationalizations, right? I can make it so that it no longer seems like I'm being a hypocrite, because I've logically figured out why it's okay, why these are not in fact conflicting with each other. And that can help get rid of this uncomfortable state. But another way that we can do that is by simply changing the belief itself. And that's where things like, okay, I can change the belief. It's hard to change the behavior of just don't eat the chocolate cake. So I change the belief. I'm not on a diet anymore. I give up. I'll start my diet tomorrow. Somehow changing the underlying belief that's causing us issues. And that is commonly what happens. It's much easier for us to change our beliefs in this way than it is for us to change our behaviors. And I know that sounds weird because it is fairly difficult to change your beliefs, right? This is not a simple thing. And in fact, my most recent videos on spinartality talk about changing beliefs and the difficulty of it, and how we're resistant to the change in our beliefs. So all of these are things that we know that it's difficult to change beliefs, but it is even more difficult to change behaviors that we are motivated to engage in, like gaming behaviors that we find intrinsically motivating. We enjoy playing games. So how does that apply to this game? Well, first, let's look at a cat. Sunder looks at the cat and folds his arms. He's not into the cat. Millions of people in history that fought, loved, and died, and they put a cat. Well, you know what? People used to worship cats. Well, what are your kicks? Yeah, I could have guessed. Dancing in necks and wrists and inner thighs. And yeah, you know what? Chillax your bone. Yeah, that's a bit much, Sunder. You're a little bit forward for me. Oh, look at the bubbles. That's so pretty. So, in the context of this game, what does changing your belief look like? Well, the two things that are in conflict are the playing of this game and the belief that I'm going to be playing a game that is sensitive to trauma, that is sensitive to people's feelings and emotions. And so there's that belief. That belief is in conflict with the emotions that I'm experiencing as I play the game. Well, I can't change the emotions that I experience while playing the game, right? If you could just change your emotions at will, no one would experience depression, no one would experience clinically significant anxiety. We could just be like, nah, we're not going to do that. The entire clinical psychology field would be out of a job if you could just say, yep, not going to feel that thing, donezo. So if that's not an option, can I pull up my full map? There we go. If that's not an option, then what do we do? And in this case, the answer to the question, what do we do, is we change the belief. And so my belief becomes, can become, I don't want to play this game, but it can also become, this game is not actually sensitive to people's needs and emotions. Because then, if I can still play the game if I choose to, although I might not choose to, but at that point, I no longer have conflicting beliefs, because the conflicting beliefs were, I'm playing a game that is sensitive to, or the conflict was, I'm playing a game that is sensitive to people's emotions, and I experience this really terrible emotion as in response to this game, or as a result of playing this game. And I think, at least in part, that it was that setup, the fact that we came to expect that this was going to be the type of game that was sensitive to our emotions and that helped to protect us on an emotional level. And we see that protection coming through in the lines of dialogue from the other characters. We see that protection coming through in the form of the warning, the trigger warning at the beginning, or the content warning at the beginning. The fact that we could choose whether or not to hear from a mom character, which also set us up to believe, okay, this game is being really sensitive, perhaps even more so than we would ever expect, to someone's emotions and their feelings. It's not just warning me about them, but they've built in a mechanic. They've built something actively into the game that allows me to turn off an element. That's a whole lot of effort for these developers to have gone through. To allow me to just completely turn off an element of the story, and made sure that element wasn't going to change the overall experience of the game. So I've got those expectations set up, and that's what set us up, at least in part, for why everybody got so upset about this game. There are others, of course, who have gone into other possible reasons. One that I heard from the first time when we were talking about this conflict and controversy, had to do with people being upset as well because the warning wasn't placed prominently. So I've already purchased the game by the time that I get that warning. And that was, give me just a sec, I'm going to go ice skating. Haven't done it in years. Yes, ice skate with me. Yes. We're going to hold his hand because I'm going to fall down on my rear end. The only time I've ever been ice skating, I came home with such bruises all over my butt and thighs because I fell all over myself. And I have never been there. Oh, look, you have nice memories of your father. Oh, you hated it, but you went skating to be alone with your thoughts. Look at you. Look at all your smiles. I'm like a frozen lake. I am like a frozen lake. Can I offer a gift? Okay, so now I cannot offer bracelets anymore, so I don't want to offer the wrong gift. Yeah, I'm sure. Because I don't have a gift that I know that he's going to like. I'm going to save my gifts because I couldn't make any more bracelets. So it's not like I could trial and error these gifts. I really have to think about them because it didn't let me craft. Even though I had the materials, it didn't let me craft any more bracelets. So I'm going to be really careful with them. Money, money, money! Yes, very useful. I need to go to the ballet. So then we get into that argument, right? And that's the argument that while I was listening to, surprise, surprise, I watched Orangutan play this game and was talking about this issue. And that's actually when I commented that I had hoped to create a video essay. And this is very clearly not a video essay because I realized I just was not making the time to do it. And so again, that argument goes that maybe people were upset because they had purchased the game and had spent money on it, made the decision to invest in it, and weren't given the warning until inside the game. But even that goes into cognitive dissonance, right? If we think about what it means to have purchased a game, I have engaged in a commitment-related behavior in that I have bought the game, I have spent money on it, and that's an indication of commitment to doing a thing. This is why people like you to make down payments on things that you're going to buy in the future. Even if you can get that down payment back, having it be a behavioral act of giving the down payment, or even just signing a tentative agreement. All of these things make us more likely to actually engage in a behavior because the belief is I have done something to commit to engaging in X, Y, or Z behavior. So even if it was possible to get your money back after that purchase, thus making it no longer relevant that your warning wasn't given until after the purchase because you could just because you could just get your money back. It's not about the money at that point. It is about the fact that I've engaged in a behavior that indicates my commitment to this game, to my desire to pay this game and my belief that it's going to be a good game. And after that commitment-related behavior, if I then find myself experiencing something where I am having this negative emotion instead of the expected positive emotion and am no longer enjoying the game, and it's maybe even violating some of my values, the sorts of things that are going on here are going against what I believe relationships should be, or how I think people should be able to consent with regards to relationships. So if all of that is happening, and I have the belief that I've paid money for this game, I have done something that signals commitment to playing this game and to approving of this game, then that's going to be, then that's still going to create cognitive dissonance. I'm still going to be upset, even if it's not about the money itself, because it's about the fact that I've engaged in a behavior that goes against my stated and firmly held values. And so I think that's part of why people got upset. And I don't think it's fully about money, about having spent money on the game. I do think that it has something to do with their values and the sort of game they believed that they were going to be playing, and then the sort of game that they actually found themselves playing. And I think this is why when we experience other media that has us experience strong negative emotions, we don't get as upset. And then, of course, what you saw is that people who were upset felt that they were justified in taking out that upset on people. And that, of course, I certainly do not agree with. Cognitive dissonance can make us do some fairly terrible things. That doesn't justify the terrible things. It simply explains the terrible things. I do think that if the developer hadn't set up those expectations, if they hadn't been as good of people as they were, people may not have been as upset. And that's not saying that they shouldn't have been as good of people as they were. simply that the two were psychologically related to each other. I certainly wouldn't say that they shouldn't have done it. I think that it was a great idea to do it. I think that people may need to be more self-aware about the sorts of reasonings behind their emotions and why they're feeling that upset, because ultimately the thing to do to combat cognitive dissonance, the thing that permanently gets rid of that feeling of hypocrisy, is the changing of behavior, not the changing of the belief, because the belief may be firmly held for a reason, or it may be something like a situation. I feel an emotion, and you're not going to change the feeling of that emotion by getting angry with or threatening or doing any of the awful things that were done to the developer and that were done to specifically to the voice actor as well. Or they were applied to the voice actor as well. So let's have some ice cream. Yes. It's been so long since you've had ice cream. I think apricot gelato, but I am going to have chocolate fudge. Yes, remember that I have a sweet tooth. And I want apricot, you want apricot gelato, but I need fudginess. And you have been to Italy and Rome. Perhaps someday we can go to Italy and Rome together, but I do not have a good gift for you. So there you really kind of have it. This isn't a great stopping point for the game, but if you give me a moment, I'm going to find, I should have stopped while we were still in the peaceful place. I can stop here. I'm going to get my big old treasure. I can make raspberry liqueur. Ooh, he likes apricot gelato. Maybe he likes raspberry liqueur. So this is where I'm going to stop the game for now, because I have been streaming for an hour and 45 minutes now. This is going to be a very long video. I might have to splice some of it. Oops, I wasted my dragon breath. I might have to splice some of it there. But I am going to stop here. I think that kind of explains my perspective on what I think was happening with regards to this game and people's upset and how it relates to cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable physical feeling that we get when we think one thing and believe another, or have two opposing beliefs, and one of those beliefs can be I did a thing, I experienced a thing, I had an emotion. And so that's what I really think may be going on here, at least in part, are those experiences of cognitive dissonance on the part of the people who purchased this game expecting one thing from the game and potentially from the developers. I don't know anything about the developers to know if they're the sort that you would start to expect that they are going to be. Oh, he got mad that I was just sitting there. To expect that they might be the sort to be tender with your emotions. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here for YouTube. Bye.